Hello YouTube, welcome back to our channel. For those who don't yet know who we are the Salas. I am mom of the Salah family. I'm the one behind all the accounts. I'm the one commenting back to you all, reading your DMs, all of it. Thank you all so much. But anyway, we are here and we are back because I'm here to tell you about my birth story. My second one. I have two kids. What? I've got two kids. Like what? I'm 26. I've got two kids, but here we are. I know that's like pretty reasonable these days, but it just feels, no matter how old you are, when you have a baby and you think about it, you're like, wait, I've got a baby. I've got a human. Like, it's nuts. Anyway, last week I did my birth story on my oldest, which was only 2 years ago. So I thought I'd do that one then, so I could then give you this one, because we didn't have YouTube back then. I didn't want to miss him out, so hence the reason I moved through it back. I'm going to tell you my birth story the second time this time. Now, just for a bit of context, my first one, obviously you all know I didn't know the gender. This one, I tried for a baby. I took a pregnancy test and it was negative. I continued to take them every week because, without being graphic, I was almost certain, like, I feel like you almost know when you make a baby, you know. I don't know why that sounds so strange, but I almost feel like you know. Anyway, I took weekly ones. It all said negative. So Christmas came around, I thought, okay, it is what it is, let's just start having fun. Anyway, long story short, the pregnancy test is this means I'm pregnant, like I'm legitimately pregnant. So I called the GP and it's like, you're gonna have to wait till January. So I'm like, I think, you know what? I always wanted to surprise my husband the first time around. I always wanted to surprise him, but I always used to say to him, would you want a surprise? And he used to say, no, I don't want you to know something I don't know. Which the first time I found out, I told him, literally, when he walked in the door. This time I was like, I'm taking it into my own hands. So because I wasn't going to find out myself till January, I just kept it a secret. Now, let's fast forward. Birth story. I get to 40 weeks again, and of course, in true Aaliyah fashion, I am late. But this time, she was like, we can give you a sweep. I was like, you know what, I'll take a sweep. So second I hit 40 weeks, I had a sweep. Because again, I was aiming for a home birth. So I planned a home birth again. I got my birth room again. Now, if you've seen my birth story part 1, my firstborn, you'll know my story already. Home birth, pool, mattress, candles, had a babysitter here, my sister-in-law, had cameras, we had everything to capture my home birth. Get to 40 weeks, nothing. I really wanted my home birth this time. COVID took it away last time, so I really wanted it. So I was like, you know what, sweep away. I must have had a sweeper on exactly 40 weeks. I had one 40 weeks and 3 days. I had one 40, and then I was gonna have one 40 weeks and 7 days, because they say leave it about 3 days between, so you don't get too sore. So I have one 40 weeks and 3 days. I'm walking, I'm decorating, I'm jumping, I'm doing everything. I'm doing this. I did this. And then I went for a walk. Anyway, we get to 40 weeks and 7 days, so exactly 41 weeks again. The exact same time I delivered Jai. So we get there and it was time for me to have another sweep, but because it was bank holiday Friday, it was a bank holiday. What bank holiday would that be? It was the August bank holiday. So because of the bank holidays, it meant that all the midwives and, you know, community midwives were all kind of based at the hospital. So we had to go to the hospital for it. So I went to the hospital, went to have my sweep. She asked me some questions and I was like, you know, you just like, movement's okay. You're just like, yeah, you know, you're kind of over it. Even if they're not so similar, you're just like, whatever, you know. I wouldn't ignore it, you know, if it was legit, like I couldn't feel anything. But I was like, you know, it's a bit slow. So yeah, it was a bit slow, but you know, I'm guessing he's just getting bigger now, because most babies tend to slow down. Not slow down, but you know, there's less room for them to wriggle. So the movements are still there, but they're just less, you know, impactful. So she was like, right, wait a minute. From what you've told me, you need to be monitored before I sweep you, because it can be so dangerous if I sweep you and the baby's, you know, not in a good situation kind of thing. So we have to go upstairs, but luckily we're at the hospital, so we go upstairs to the triage where they put, you know, the blue and the pink band around you, and they say we're going to monitor you for 20 minutes. So I'm like, okay, fine. Me and Far are like, you know what, our sister-in-law's at home, our son is at home with her, So worst case scenario, we can sneak out for a little date, you know. So I get him to book a table at this like Argentinian restaurant, and I'm like, let's just get this done and let's get the table booked. So we're in there, we're in the room, we're getting listened to 20 minutes. We're not really listening at this point. After the first 5 minutes of like, and we're just chatting amongst ourselves. Anyway, it comes to like 25 minutes. I'm like, buddy, how long? You booked the table, you know, we need to go and eat. And then we just hear a shout, D-cell, and like we hear loads of rushing. And I look at phone, I'm like, what the heck is that? He's like, so I'm like, I'm gonna Google D-cell. He goes, I think she said D-cell. He said, don't Google it. I was like, why? He's like, don't. All he says is, don't Google it. And I was like, okay, I won't. I wasn't trying to be nosy. I was just like, you know, stressed for the other person. Anyway, so I'm guessing because of whatever had happened in the other room, they'd left us, you know, so we were just chatting along. We heard nothing more of it. The midwife came in, she was like, looking beautiful, baby's moving beautifully. It's 47 minutes now, so you might as well give it another 10 minutes. And then after an hour, it kind of makes its own report and prints out or something. I don't know. That's what she said. So I was like, wicked. Right, make sure we're going there. I'm going to eat this, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to eat this. Right, and then we were still chatting amongst ourselves. We get to about 58 minutes, and I say, wait, shh, shh, shh. I look at the machine, nothing's moving. I thought, I was like, yeah, it is. I'm like, no, turn it up. It's like, don't be silly. And then he presses the volume, and as he presses the volume, I see his face just drop. His face just drops, and he just shouts, Ness! So she comes in, and he's like, the baby's, I think it's come off, you know. And I'm like, no, there's nothing there. And then like she looks, and she looks back, and then she like presses this button on the bed. So I'm sitting like this, my body's like this, my legs are there. The bed just collapsed, like flat, like the back went down and down to the floor, like not onto the floor, but you know, really low. And she goes, right, lots of people are gonna come in now, don't worry, don't panic, we're here to help you, baby. Roll onto your side. So I rolled onto my left-hand side, and I'm just like, what the f? And then the women come rushing in, there must be about 6 or 7 of them, and she goes, another D-cell. And I thought that, I'm literally trying my best not to cry. I'm trying my best not to cry, and I'm on my side, and I've got all these people like almost shaking my stomach, wriggling my stomach, like pushing the, you know, the little pads that the blue and pink band, pushing it onto my stomach to find some form of heartbeat. Then the heartbeat goes from nothing to 40, and as soon as it gets to 40, they hold it there for about 2 seconds, and then say, no, she needs to deliver this baby right now. I'm laid on that bed in this, like, and I'm like, I thought they were gonna cut me open there, like there. I'm like, whoa, I thought you did this in theatre. Like, I was stressed. I was stressed. Honestly, I didn't open my eyes. I just thought, see no evil, hear no evil. So although I'm crying and I'm stressed, I didn't want to look at the, in the room, because I felt like that would be something that lived with me for ages. So I'm just like, I'm fine, please, I'm fine. I just want to get this done with, I just want to get this done. So then like, they rushed me down to the labour ward, and when I say consultant was busy in this, we're going to intervene with the hormone drip, and if nothing happens after 2 hours with the hormone drip, you go into surgery. I was stressed. I said, please, no hormone drip, there's got to be another way. They examine me, and I'm 3 centimetres. So they say, get her on the hormone drip, and while we're wrapping up this other theatre, we'll put her on the hormone drip, and then she will go into theatre. If nothing has happened, we can't leave the baby in there. So I'm like, I don't want no hormone drip, please, no hormone drip. But if I'm already 3 centimetres, why are we not waiting? My body's already doing its own thing. And they say, but we can't leave you any longer. So I'm really like, if you've seen my other one, I'm anti-drugs, bro. So I'm like, please, if we don't need drugs, I don't want drugs. She said, look, I'll give you 20 minutes while I go chat to the, you know, consultant, the head of person, while we were waiting. So they broke my waters. Now, breaking them waters took forever. They did it, they must have tried about 6 times. She kept on saying she'd grazed it, and I could feel little trickles, but hardly anything. Anyway, she did it, and I remember trying to like fidget around in my bag to like kind of remove it, to finally get it to completely release all the waters. Anyway, that must have taken about 40 bloody minutes. My vagina was so sore. Then, because that consultant was still in the surgery, and I got to 6 centimetres, they say, look, we're going to bring in another consultant. Some guy comes in, some fucking guy. It's almost like you can't write it. Remember I had that big henchwoman, that big Miss Trunchbull first time? This guy's like massive. He's like 7 foot. The guy comes in. Now, Thor's not one of them guys who are like, don't let anyone touch your vagina. But immediately, I didn't want to. I'd always thought if I was in that situation, I wouldn't care. But when I got to it, I'm like, yo, I'm somebody's wife, man. You're not touching my vagina in front of my husband. This is getting weird, this is getting weird. But then I didn't want to be that one who's like, excuse me, can you not touch my vagina? I prefer a woman. Because I'm like, wait a minute, my baby's heartbeat's all over the shop. Let me prioritise. So he had a feeling of whatever, and I was like, oh. I still don't know if I'm over that. I don't know if I'm over that. He checked. The waters were broken after about 25,000 attempts. Finally went again, poo in the water. Both my kids just loved his shit. They loved his shit. So I'm saying to them, oh, I can't sit on this bed. My back's in bits. My back's in bits. So I say, I feel like I need to stand up. So I stand up, and she goes, why don't we get your birthing ball? I get on this birthing ball. As soon as I sit, as soon as my bottom touches this birthing ball, heartbeat went completely off, gone. So that already like shook me to my core, and I just jumped back up. And then as I jumped back up, you saw the heartbeat go up back to about 40. And I was like, I can't sit down, I can't sit down. And I just ended up raising the beds really, really high, like super high, like to like my chest, and just like leaning on it and rocking myself. I'm like, She goes to tell the woman that the heartbeat just dropped as I sat, like completely gone again as I've sat on the ball, and that we need to do something else. So then she comes back in the room and says, look, woman's in the theatre at the minute. When she comes out, we're then going to take it from there, because we can't leave this baby in distress. And I'm just stressed at this point. I am stressed. We went to the hospital at maybe 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. At this point now, it's 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock. And the midwife and my husband decide to start talking travel. They start talking travel about where her son's been, where he wants to go, where they'd love to. I'm in agony. I've been examined because of the whole complication at least 40 times at this point. My vagina feels like the neck of a bottle that's been grazed on the gravel. Like, that's the best way I can explain it. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not trying to beat anyone up right now. So I put my head into this bed and I close my eyes, and I'm just like, And every time I was like, you okay, baby? In between his conversation, she goes to him. She's a brave one, isn't she? Bless her. Anyway, I'd love to go to. I'm just like, Anyway, she had to leave. It got to 8 o'clock. Her shift had finished. I think she did 8 till 8, 12 hours. So her shift was finished, and I had a new midwife come in, but I didn't even say bye to her. I didn't care what she was doing. She was already jarring me out, like she was me off. So she left. Another one came in. Oh, I forgot her name. I want to say Georgie, and I still had my head down. She came in. She's like, "Hi, Liam, I'm Georgie. I'm going to be a midwife today." And I'd not even looked at her. I'd not even looked once, because I just thought, not a fucking one of you guys. I'm fucking sick of you all. I'm sick. I was sick of them. And like Ford come here, and she'd gone there, and she's just talking to me at the end of the bed, because I'm like in the middle of the bed, like, and she's like, so what we feeling, what we thinking? And I don't know why, but something just told me to look up, and as I looked up, I saw she was really young. She was about 22. And I was like, look, Georgie, I'm not trying to be rude. She said, I'm like 5 or 6 centimetres, I'm not moving, I've had enough, go get me an epidural. And I just remember like, Ford looking at her. And she said, so is an epidural what you want? And I was like, do I sound like I'm speaking another language? Like, this is how I'm speaking at this point. I'm exhausted. No disrespect to you, Georgie. I do not want to disrespect you, but I've had enough. I've had enough. Like, I didn't want any of this. It's so stressful. I never anticipated to have a baby today, and this is a very stressful situation. So just knock me the like, just knock me out. I've had enough. She goes, get on the bed. Let me check you to make sure it's safe enough to still give you an epidural. She checks me. She goes, you're 7 centimetres, but at a stretch of 9. You're not sitting at 9, but I can stretch it to 9. Cervix or something is quite elasticy, is what she said. So I'm like, so does that mean I'm getting an epidural? Like, she goes, I can go get you the epidural. I went, go get me the epidural then, Georgie. And again, I'm not trying to respect you, but just get me the epidural. So she left the room. She was gone for about 20 minutes. At this point, I'm like, well, epidural. And I was like, just relax. I'm like, don't tell me to relax. I've had enough. This is not my first time. This is not this is stressful. And I'm stressed because my baby's heartbeat keeps dropping. So I don't want to be stressed. I want to be high is what I want to be. I want to be high. Let me be high. He just shuts up. She comes back in the room. I'm like, Georgie, get off of the epidural. She's like, oh, your pain has it increased? I'm like, just get the epidural. And because of my voice and everything had just gone up, she goes, I think it's too late now to have the epidural. She tricked me, right? She tricked me so freaking hard. I said, God, you took 20 minutes preparing it. You've taken 20 minutes preparing it. Now it's too late. I can't do this. I cannot do this. I said, move out of the way. Just move out of the way, man. Everybody move out of the way. I need to stand up. Because I'm like sitting on the bed after she's just checked me. I get back up. I start swinging my bum. I said, oh, this head's going to fall out. Everyone get off the bed. This head's going to fall out. And I get back on the bed. And I said, oh no, it's just a poo. It's just a poo. It's just a poo. I'm sorry. I need to poo. I need to poo, Georgie. I need to poo. And she's like, it's not a poo, it's just a head. I'm like, Georgie, it's not my first time. I know I need to poo. I know this is a poo. She goes, no, you don't. Just push and I'll see if I can see the head. I went, Georgie, if I push, I'm going to poo. So she goes, okay, just do your poo. I poo. I poo for this lady, like on cue, like some, I poo for the lady. Don't judge me, don't judge me. Unless you walked in my shoes, don't tell me how much they hurt your feet. Do not tell me how much they hurt your feet. So I poo for this lady. As soon as I poo, I say, Georgie, get back. Georgie, get back. So I'm like, I'm telling you, the head's coming down, the head's coming, the head's coming, the head's coming, the head's coming. And I get down in almost like a doggy position. It is like a doggy position because my chest is quite close to the bed. My bum's in the air, but I had my hands kind of on the board, but I'm not so slumped this time. And I'm just like, no, I can't push this head out. So she goes, gas and air. And I'm like, I want to put it over there. She goes, even if you don't want to use it to concentrate. At this point, I was going to have an epidural, so I'll take gas and air. So, and then I hear, I'm like, is the head come? And my voice changed, and I was like, no. And then I try and get everyone's attention in the room. So there's her, another midwife, and I'm like, no, everyone, forget about the baby. There's something wrong with my voice. There's something wrong with my voice. It's changed. I can see it fall, like giggling at me. It's like, it's the gas in there, baby. Like, no, there's nothing wrong with my voice. That sounds like that TikTok effect. But then I see the seriousness, like, on her face, like Georgie's face, and I'm just like, oh, okay, maybe like this is serious. So I just think, get the thing back in and just start pushing.
Say that, baby, his head's here. Oh my
head's
goodness.
born.
He's here, baby, just keep breathing.
I hear Farsi. Oh, the head's here. But other than that, the room was silent. And then 45 seconds to a minute and a half later.
Oh my God. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, Daddy.
Is he okay?
Yeah.
Baby's born. A baby's born, and it's like silent. Silent. Far's not saying anything. Georgie's not saying anything. Obviously now I know. I've seen my footage, my birth footage. I recorded this one too. He had the cord around his neck. Baby was born. It was baby Jedi Farhan Salah. He weighed a whopping £8.10. He was only 0.001 of a gram lighter than his brother. How mad is that? Women never normally carry the same size babies. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Georgie, thank you so much. Now, no disrespect to you, assistant midwife, but she is the shit, man. This woman is incredible. And I said, how old are you? She's 22 years old. She's 22. She was one of the best midwives I've ever experienced. She measured my baby. She did all this stuff for my baby. And all the measurement tapes that she measured him with, she wrote little notes on there, like, hi mom, I'm born here and this is how tall I am, da da da. And she put it all in my, you know, little red books that they give you. So I would find it at later dates. Oh my God, she was amazing. And then she wrapped him up, and then, like, I said, Georgie, don't think I'm crazy. Last time I did this, they thought I was crazy, but I just need to shower. I know I'm sorry, but I have to shower. She was like, no, don't blame me, go shower. She went, Aaliyah, I'm sweating. So I'm sweating with the stress of the whole situation. I can imagine how you're feeling. So I went in the shower. I had the best shower. I was using Hugo Boss. Like, I was, oh. I sprayed myself with Coco Chanel on the way out. Like, I felt like, oh no, I need a break. So I have this shower. I come back and she's like, do you want me to take you somewhere more comfortable? Georgie, I hope I didn't get her name wrong. I hope I didn't get her name wrong. Let me check this girl's name. I got her name wrong. Her name's Ellie. Ellie, you know what? If you see this, don't take this personally. Her name was Ellie. Sorry. So, to be fair, I was under the influence. Ellie, credit to you, man. She was much cleaner, slicker. She was just the best I've ever had. Bearing in mind, I'd done this whole labour thing once before, and then I just had another midwife prior to her. So anyway, she took us to a different room. She kept on coming in and out. She was checking. She was weighing him. She was like, she was, helping Far. So like, I had my suitcase and I had it all organised, but Far's very like hands-on when we have a baby. He wants to take his shirt off. He just wants to like live in the moment. So she's unpacking my opening my suitcase and getting all his little bits out so he can dress the baby and pick an outfit for the baby while I'm in the shower. So when I got out, like, she'd like got me some stuff out my thing to put on. I was just, honestly, it was so lovely. I just thought, wow, what an incredible woman. So I knew we'd have to stay for 12 hours. So Far went home about 7 AM in the morning, took Jai to school, cleaned the house, got it ready for him, and then brought Jai home after. Then when Jai got home, his auntie showered him and everything, got him all clean. And then Far came and picked me and the baby up. And then this moment right here is when Jai met the baby. Oh. So yeah, that's my birth story. The 29th of August, 2022 at 9:11. So yeah, that's my birth story. Number 2, second baby, second boy. 2 babies in 2 years, wow, crazy. 2 babies in 2 years, but you know what? I think I'm all tapped out now. Anyway, don't forget guys to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.